So race number 2 for the Radical Sprint Championship, and of course the finishing positions from race 1 dictate the grid for race 2. So number 77 Ben Dimmock's on pole. Alongside him is number 66 Brian Caldwell, and row 2 of the grid is comprised by the orange machine, number 22 of Paddy McLuggan, and alongside him number 16, which is Stuart Maloney. The red lights are on, the revs begin to build, and as the lights go out, initially it looks as though it's the red car of Brian Caldwell that probably got the car moving off the line that little bit quicker as they head up towards Ritchie's for the first time. It is Brian Caldwell that has taken the early lead at this stage. The man who currently lies third in the championship standings, the red car in the lead of the race, and Ben Dimmock, the championship leader, is down into second position. Takes a wide line heading in towards Montreal as our race leader Brian Caldwell looks to defend the position, but now Ben Dimmock needs to close the door. He's got Stuart Maloney, who started fourth, already up to third, looking to try and steal the place away. Everybody safely through the first couple of corners. Caldwell leads the race. Ben Dimmock's there in second place. Then it's Stuart Maloney from the orange machine of Paddy McLuggan. He's won more races than anybody so far this season, Paddy McLuggan, but he lies second in the championship standings. Raising the dust coming out of Palmer as Ben Dimmock looks for the lead of the race, and being forced briefly onto the grass was Brian Caldwell there. Not only has he lost the lead of the race, he's fallen into the clutches of the orange machine of Paddy McLuggan, who is looking to try and assert himself if he can up into second place. We're side by side for what is fourth and fifth as well as Stuart Maloney comes under pressure. But it is now going to be Ben Dimmock, who won race number 1, leads in the early stages of race number 2, works his way onto the Bentley Straight for the first time, and Brian Caldwell now coming under pressure from the orange machine, number 22, in the hands of Paddy McLuggan. He took 3 wins at Snetterton early on in the season, but he's currently down in third position as the pack head through Brundle and up towards Nelson on the first lap of the race, with, by the look of things, Stuart Maloney having slipped down into what will be now fourth position. The rest of the field just filing their way through and out of Brundle and then Nelson before they head round through the bomb hole, then through the daunting right-hander at Coram, which is where they're heading now. There is the number 16 car of Stuart Maloney, having dropped down through the field. Now look to try and gain places if he can. There's number 20, that's Mark Prader, the wheel of his SR3 RSX, the most popular choice in the Radical Sprint Championship in the 2015 season. Brian Caldwell still hanging on to second place. Patrick McLuggan as yet has not quite been able to find a way through. Is he going to have a look this time heading up towards Montreal? And it looks as though Brian Caldwell is just about going to be able to close the door in time, despite the very best efforts of Paddy McLuggan. He can't quite squeeze his way through at Montreal, not at least on that lap. Can he do it on the sprint up towards Palmer? Would appear not. Ben Dimmock leads. There is a spin, and that's number 16, Stuart Maloney. All of that hard work done in the early stages has all come rather undone for Stuart Maloney. He tumbles down through the field. He's going to be down outside of the top 12 as a result of that spin. Brian Caldwell doing a solid job though in second place. He may well be losing a little bit of time to Ben Dimmock as a result of trying to defend from Paddy McLuggan, but he's not losing a great deal really. The top 3 not quite equidistantly spread. Ben Dimmock in the lead just has a very slender advantage. Slightly smaller gap back between Brian Caldwell and then what looked like Paddy McLuggan, with a little bit of contact between the two of them. Brian Caldwell looked to be slow there coming onto the Bentley Straight, and Paddy McLuggan was caught napping there slightly. Brian Caldwell still able to hang on to the place though. It looks as though it's just one of the light covers on Paddy McLuggan's car that's come off, so it may well have just been the wind underneath it. It may well have been just the slightest bit of contact between the two of them. It's not affected either car. They're still pressing on, looking to try and hunt down race leader Ben Dimmock, who's had 4 wins so far this season. Ben Dimmock. Brian Caldwell in second place has had just the single win so far, and Paddy McLuggan has taken 8 wins so far, 3 of which came at Snetterton the first 3 rounds of the season. There goes the number 22 car of Paddy McLuggan, still in the podium places at this stage, looking to try and make it a step higher up if he can in race number 2. Brian Caldwell driving superbly well at this stage, and if anything on that lap had increased the gap slightly, I would suggest. Up towards the braking area for Montreal once more they'll go. The top 3 still absolutely together at this stage. A long way back before we see the 4th place car, and in 4th place at the moment is Mark Maloney, who started 8th on the grid but has come up superbly well through the order. However, he's not quite on terms with these top 3 as they head up towards the infield section on the Snetterton 300 once more. Out of Agostini they'll come. Again, Brian Caldwell just on the dust on the exit of the corner. There is the 4th place car briefly in shot there. Mark Maloney back to the pair that are vying for second and third once more through Oggies. The yellow car with its white flashes in the hands of Ben Dimmock, still continuing to lead the race, still not with a huge advantage though between the two behind, Brian Caldwell and Paddy McCluggan, as they head down the Bentley Straight once more. Beautiful weekend here at Snetterton. You can see the heat haze rising as the cars head down towards the bottom of the Bentley Straight, and then they head into the very, very quick left-hander at Brundle before they dive on the brakes and throw the car in towards the right-hander at Nelson. But it is still number 77, Ben Dimmock, that leads. 66, Brian Caldwell there in second place, looking to try and not only close up, but also shake away slightly the orange machine of Paddy McCluggan from behind him. He can't quite do the latter first, let alone the former. Onto the brakes and through the left-hander at Murray's. Another lap about to be chalked into the book. And despite leading for the first half a lap, Brian Caldwell has not been able to reassert himself back at the pointy end as yet. There goes the number 23 car of Jason Rishover. He's involved in a great little battle, which, by the look of things, involves Kelvin Kingsley amongst others, as they head over the start-finish line and continue for another lap. The two SR3s just ahead of the SR3 RSX. There goes the number 87 car of David Simpson. Looks as though he's busy squabbling away as well with the sole SR1 we've got in the field, number 6 in the hands of Barry Liversidge. Doesn't matter where you look in the field, there's great fights going on, including this one here. Jason Rishover fighting away with the recovering Stuart Maloney following his spin at Montreal. He's looking to try and carve his way back up through the field and looking to try and carve his way through into second place. Paddy McCluggan, as close as he's been to the tail end of the red car in the hands of Brian Caldwell, but still can't as yet find a way through. Very frustrating for Paddy McCluggan, using all of the curbs and perhaps a little bit more there, just heading out of Williams and onto the Bentley Straight this time through. And whilst they're squabbling, it might just allow Ben Dimmock to have a slightly extended advantage this time through, looking as though the gap has grown between the two of them. So Ben Dimmock able to just pull away a shade, not a great deal, one slip up from the race leader, and these two would be right on in, Brian Caldwell and then the orange machine in the hands of Paddy McCluggan. As they head out of the bomb hole though, time is ticking away. And if they want to try and catch race leader and then try and prevent him claiming the second win of the weekend here at Snetterton, they're running out of time in which to do so. Out of Murray's, over the start-finish line, another lap about to be completed. The order still, though, between these three remaining the same. The yellow car of Ben Dimmock leads. Brian Caldwell just ahead, but only just ahead of Paddy McCluggan. Elsewhere down through the field, also some titanic battles going on. Here we go again. Jason Rishover doing a very, very good job of keeping at bay the recovering car of Stuart Maloney. Started fourth, was up to third, but then spun right the way down outside of the top 12 and is still having to work tirelessly hard to try and recover the positions. At the moment, he's down in 14th place. There goes Barry Liversidge, the sole Radical SR1 that we've got in the field. Looks as though he has lost the position to the black car of David Simpson. So number 87, David Simpson, gains the place. That means he's up now into 19th position. Barry Liversidge is down into 20th. These two fighting over second and third are still absolutely locked together. The Radical SR3 RSX just ahead of the orange SR3 in the hands of Paddy McCluggan, but still no way through for the Irishman. Brian Caldwell doing a very, very good job of hanging on to second and not losing that much time still to the race leader, the yellow car with the white nose, Ben Dimmock. So through Brundle, up towards Nelson, they will work their way. And as Brian Caldwell just briefly bounces over the curbs on the exit, nice and neat and tidy still though, using all of the circuit. Comes out of the bomb hole, round through the sweeping, daunting right-hander. The speed that these cars can carry through the right-hander at Coram with the aerodynamic grip and of course the Dunlop slick tyres that they all run as well. Carry a lot of speed through that corner there. Over the start-finish line, another lap completed. The clock still ticking away, the order still remaining the same, but you can see that Ben Dimmock in the lead, pulling away slightly. Jason Rishover has managed to dispense with the attentions of Stuart Maloney, has now started to close onto the number 49 car of Kelvin Kingsley. So Rishover looking as though he's keen to gain a place. There's the PR6 of Richard Stables as well. Long time Radical racer Richard Stables. Currently leads the championship standings in the PR6 class. So our race leading trio still locked together, heading out of Palmer onto the infield section of the Snetterton 300. But the red flags come out and unfortunately that brings a halt to the race. Martin Verity and Richard Stables involved in incidents around the circuit means that the red flags come out, and such is the distance that's already been completed in the race, it will be declared a result. So it does mean that Ben Dimmock will be highly delighted that he's claimed a second win of the weekend here at Snetterton. Can he make it the treble with race number 3 still to go? Brian Caldwell will finish in second, and Patrick McGluggan will finish in third place. The red flags might have brought an early halt to the race, but I'm sure the drivers will still be absolutely delighted, particularly Ben Dimmock with a race win.
It's a great racing today. How was your race?
Excellent, yeah, I didn't get the best of starts, but I was determined to get past Brian in the first 3 or 4 corners, because I knew if I didn't, once he got his tyres up to temperature, I'd struggle to get past him, because I don't know why, but Brian seems to have a radical twice as wide as anyone else, but it seems to work for me. Well, if I can get past him, then he keeps Paddy behind, so yeah, brilliant, good race.
And Brian, how was your race today?
Fabulous, but I just can't beat Ben, one of these days, though, it'll come. We'll just keep trying.
Fantastic. And Paddy, third place.
Yeah, not too bad. It's not where we really want to be or need to be, but we'll keep chipping away at these two, so they seem to be pretty quick and have very wide cars as well. So
Think about it, you make an old man happy.
at least I'm something right today anyway. So we'll get sorted for race 3, so hopefully it should be good.